It's Neil. Neil Turner. Neil Turner. 3rd is the new 2nd. It is a full moon, yeah. Neil Turner, let's see what he said in the form. Has he phoned it in? Neil Turner. I've got Neil Turner. I haven't got a clue what's going on, but it's very interesting. Thank you, Stephen. Neil Turner, you're up. Yeah, he's here. He is here. Wow, first time ever. We've got everybody in the comments. Neil Turner, what I've got down on the form. You did, yeah. Go on, tell everybody. Tell everybody what you've done. Or do you want a t-shirt that says, I also? Neil sent the form, so I know what car Neil wants. You can tell everyone in the comments, though. Wow, I can't believe we've actually got... I'm going to put that down as 2nd again. Where's Neil? Come on, Neil. Tell us what you want. Take a t-shirt roll again. Audi, I'd have had it for the first 2. Oh, good. So it's going to someone that actually really wants it. I'm really pleased about that.
Yep, that's it. I won a car, so I've got to go. I've got 3.5, 4 hours on the train now. I'm at the station car park, so let's just turn these lights back on. Yeah, I'm at the station car park. I've got to get from where I am, North London, across into London, and then across to Paddington, and then out to Great Malvern. So it's going to be a long day, but yeah, it should be quite good. I got the ticket for 39 quid, which that was from Paddington to Great Malvern was first class. If I'd gone standard class, it was £46. So not sure how they worked that one out, but let's see what this car's like. Obviously high mileage, old, but the tried and trusted 1.9 TDI, the pre-PD ones, so you can run them on pretty much anything. I had one in an old Seat Leon that I used to run on vegetable oil, so let's get to it. So I'm on the platform now, and yeah, a bit more information. So I entered the raffle, or the draw, on the Jeff Buyers Cars Facebook group. No, not the Facebook group, the YouTube. There's a train coming by. Yeah, paid a tenner for the ticket. There was, I think, 370 tickets sold, and there was 4 prizes, so pretty much less than one in 100 chance of winning. And I got second choice out of a choice of 3 cars. It was a Volvo 850, which would have been nice. I had a lot of work done for the MOT, the Audi, and a Mark IV Fiesta Z-Tech. So yeah, I ended up with the Audi, 343,000 miles on the clock. So I'm going up to Worcestershire to see Danny, who's the car owner. Sounds like it might be a little bit interesting, a few little niggles with it, but what you get for a tenner, I mean, can't complain. So probably needs a good clean. I think it's been well used. It's been used as a workhorse and commuter. So yes, 20 past 7 now. Train's due at 7:30, and should be arriving in Great Malvern at 11:15. Danny's picking me up in his Volvo 940, so that should be interesting. I've not been in one of those for about 20 years, so looking forward to that. So let's get on the road, or on the tracks. So about 500 metres out of Paddington, the train came to a halt. Been here just over an hour. Apparently the cables are caught in the pantograph. They've started the diesel engines, but apparently it's wrapped around, so there's a train next to us, and we're going over to the other train at some point, but that's going to be another 10-15 minutes while they sort out how we're going to get across there. So It's an hour already gone. Good thing is, I get a full refund on my ticket. See how this goes. Well, that didn't work. It's now 12:20 and I'm back in my car at the station. After an hour and a half waiting on the train, broken down train just out of Paddington, we got moved to another train, taken back to Paddington, where they basically said all trains were cancelled due to overhead line issues. They had to turn all the power off, so they couldn't give a time when we'd be on the way. It was likely going to be at least 3 hours. Only other option was to go to Marylebone and get a train via Oxford, but then that would have that was at least another 3 hours by train, plus getting to Marylebone. So I would have only got there about 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And initially I was meant to get to Great Malvern at 11:15. So had other things to do at home this afternoon. So I'm going to have to claim. I can claim for the ticket, and hopefully try again next week. So better luck next time, I hope. Okay. That was Sunday, now it's Wednesday. It's around 12 o'clock, so I managed to get the same deal again with £39 first class from Paddington. Only thing I didn't think about is I'm going to be arriving in Great Malvern at 4:15. It's going to be dark, so I'm not quite sure how film is going to go for that part of the trip. But I have to switch the iPhone, which is better than the GoPro at night. Hopefully get some footage, and yeah, just have to play it by ear. So back off to the station now. Not very nice. It's going to be windy later as well, and second time lucky. Made it to Great Malvern. Just got to wait for Danny to come and pick me up now. Should be here in a minute. Here he is. Looks like there is two.
Finally, we got there. How are you?
Not bad, yeah?
Not too bad. I'm ever so sorry, I didn't know this existed.
I haven't been in one of these for about 30 years. Torch time.
Can I get you a drink? Do you need to use the toilet or anything?
I'll have a cup of tea, please.
I could say, how'd you take it?
It's white with 1 sugar, please.
Right.
So,
Let me, while I'm doing that, let me get you the...
this is it. I'm sure that this Volvo would be nicer to drive home. Do you want to do a swap?
You know what? They'll have to bury me in that. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's gonna owe me double what I paid for it by the time I'm done with it. But
yeah,
it's,
cheers.
it's a lovely car. I'll swap you for the Alpina then. I'll give that. Female 1 sugar, wouldn't it?
Yes, please.
No problem.
Okay. Right, let's go around here. I don't think that door. Go around this way. So there we go. 342,358. If we zero that, probably needs the engine on. Let's have a look. Clutch feels nice and light. Straight up. Look at that. go. Let's see how many miles it is to home, and yeah, we'll have a chat with Danny about the car shortly. Right, here with Danny, who's the owner of the car, and apparently it's got maybe a small or maybe slightly larger than large list of issues. I noticed one, that door doesn't open from the outside.
Definitely. That door does open from the outside, but it doesn't tend to close again unless you manually shut the handle. It's quite a funny one. So.
Right, okay. So a couple of other things I noticed. I think you told me, well, I'd seen it. The fuel gauge doesn't work. So how do I know?
According to the gent I bought it off, apparently it works if you fill it up, but then it shows full right until you've got 100 miles left. I haven't tested that theory there.
Right,
I think I put 30, it was either 20 or 30 pound in it when I bought it, and I haven't had to put anything else in it.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably put, I mean, 30 quid should get me home, so I'm thinking of putting 30 in.
Yeah.
With
I can't see why not. I mean, I drove it back from the Forest of Dean, which is about 40 miles.
Yeah.
And it was doing 45 to the gallon.
Okay.
So
And you'd put fuel in it then?
that was, yeah, 20 or 30 pound I put fuel in.
Right, okay.
So.
Okay.
What else have we got? So the radio,
Yep.
most times you start it, it needs a code. It needs a
Okay.
code input in. So I can show you how to do that before you go. The air conditioning works, it's beautiful, but it squeals like mad when you put it on.
Oh, I noticed that just now when I started it up. There
Yeah.
was, yeah, definite. Oh, was that me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so-
does that sometimes as well when you switch it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess once you're moving though, it should be all right, shouldn't it?
I can't see why not. I tested it to make sure it worked. It's the first question I always ask is, does the air conditioning work?
Yeah.
It doesn't work in the Volvo, so you're one up on me already.
Well, I can just run the climate control without the actual aircon on, I guess. You can put it on econ.
Yeah,
can't you?
so if you put, it's backwards on Volkswagen Audi, isn't it?
Yeah.
If econ's on, the
it means
aircon's
it's
off.
Yeah.
Any other foibles I can think of off the top of my head?
I mentioned some electrical issues. Was that the fuel gauge?
Yeah, so the fuel gauge. My mind's gone blank now. I'm ever so sorry.
Oh, was it the oil temperature gauge?
Yeah, the oil temperature gauge doesn't work, and then it says an oil sensor warning comes up on the
I
dash
saw that.
and flashes.
But it gets up to 90 degrees. Is it on the
coolant temperature? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets
okay.
up to 90 and sits there.
Yeah.
Or it did when I last drove it anyway.
Well, it's got 150 miles to go today, so.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I mean, it cost me a tenner, so.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good car for £10.
Yeah.
We're £10 of anybody's money. It's a lot less than I paid for it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
What else have we got? The hazards obviously it's just demonstrated there. Sometimes come on when you turn the car on and sometimes don't.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously the headlining's
Oh yeah, I
not
noticed
the
that.
greatest.
I was,
Honestly, I think that's about everything.
well, I'm sure I'll get to know it. Luckily, it's not pouring with rain, so that's one thing, less thing to worry
That's
about on the way
something,
home.
yeah, of course.
But yeah,
So just yeah,
lights will work.
yeah, lights will work. First thing I checked. There's oil and water in the boot should you need it, but you shouldn't. All the history's in the boot as well. There's absolute stacks of it.
Okay, yeah, I saw there was a history file on the photo. So
Yeah, of course. I believe, because I quite like doing this whenever I buy a car, I quite like looking at the history.
yeah,
Just sitting down one evening, just going through it all. Did it with this. I believe it was a company car first off for a few years. Then it was sold to somebody not too far from here, actually, up in Kidderminster. Stayed there for about 10 years, and then was traded in at Sintner BMW in Birmingham,
okay,
where the gent I bought it in one of their trade auctions, I believe. In fact, I think the invoice is in the history. He then ran it from Forest of Dean to Swindon every day, so about 120 mile round trip, every day for about 12 years.
Wow.
And that's where all the miles came from then.
Yeah.
He bought it 120, 130, something like that.
So he's done
Obviously,
200,000 in
12 years. Yeah, it's all been mechanically well. He worked, or so he told me, he was a motor vehicle tutor at Swindon College. So it was kept by him. All the parts were bought and then fitted up, I presume, at work or at home.
Yeah.
Apparently it had belts at 280, he said, 280, 290. And then it had a clutch at about 200 as well. So other than that, though, it's original turbo, original injectors, original fuel pump. Because I think it's pre-PD, this one.
Yes,
you probably know more
yeah.
than me.
Yeah, the 110's pre-PD, so pretty much. I mean, the PDs are pretty good, especially the lower powered ones, but I think this one's pretty much one of the best. So
Definitely.
I can't remember what the difference is between the 90 and the 110. I think the 110's got a variable turbocharger.
Will it have a variable?
I think the 90s had they were just, I think they're the most reliable, but I think these are pretty good.
Of course.
I actually had one of these. I had not one of these Audis. I had a Seat Leon 110.
Okay.
Probably would have been similar age to this actually. It was a Y plate. So yeah, X plate. So it was 2001 when they first came out. So so yeah, it's been a long time since I've driven one of these.
It drives beautifully. That's one thing I can't fault with it. For a 350,000 mile car, it drives superbly. It's quite smooth. It doesn't smoke excessively. It smells a little bit, but I think all old diesels do that.
Yeah. What, out the back or inside?
No, not inside. From the front, believe it or not. So I don't know. Maybe an exhaust leak or something like that. I'm not 100%. But there's no funny smoke, no knocks and bangs even.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I'd like to get the fuel gauge working. I've read a few things about that. So
it's a bit of a funny issue, isn't it? I seem to have a bit of a habit of buying cars with fuel gauges not working recently. I bought Smithy from Jeff, and that had a non-working fuel gauge.
Oh, of course, yeah. So you've already had sort of contact with him before.
Yeah, that was it. So Jeff actually only used to live about 10 minutes from here, and I always used to drive past, going to and from work, and there'd always be something interesting sat outside. And obviously he'd unveiled that he bought the 850 Smithy, and I thought, oh yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Seen what he'd done with it, and I thought, I've got to have that. So I bought, I think, about 5 tickets for the raffle, 3, 4, 5 tickets, and didn't win. The winner chose something else, so I said to Jeff, can I have it off you? I said, how much do you want for it? Very reasonable price. So I said, go on, I'll have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And that was just in the interim before buying that then.
Because didn't he take it to somewhere in Wales?
He took it to Barry.
Was that before you got it?
That was before I got it, yeah. So I planned to do a few things like that, but unfortunately the only place I got to take it to was Caffeine and Machine, which was still quite fun actually. Lots of attention, as you'd expect, really.
Yeah. I was sort of half thinking, I mean, obviously this was a week ago when he was doing the track day, that I would have tried to pick this up and go to that, and I just thought, I'm going to be, I mean, I've done a lot of track days, I've done racing and stuff, and I know that I wouldn't be able to hold back. And I just sort of think, then end up going home on a tow truck.
On a tow truck,
costing me more money, so I just thought, no.
On a train. I'd love to do one of these road trips and take the 940, get sort of a group of interesting old cars together and do it.
Maybe something to plan for the future. Try and get Jeff involved. If Jeff watches this video, maybe he will, I don't know. It'd be good to try and get a few of us.
Definitely.
Some old cars.
Definitely. I'd be up for that. We've got, I mean, I bought this as a bit of a stopgap. I sold Smithy back to Jeff while he sort of had space for it. because it's a specialist kind of car. I think it's one of those that you need a certain buyer to buy it at a certain time, and it was getting towards the end of summer, and I said, no, you have it back if you want it. He said, yeah, no, I'll have it back, no questions asked. He said, I need a spare car anyway. So I didn't have a car for a little bit. My other half just started a new job, which is an 80-mile-a-day commute.
Wow.
She's got a nice little A3. And I said, rather than ruin that, let's buy you something cheap. And I need, because I still hadn't found one of them. I spent 6, 7, 8 months seeking out the right one of those. So I said, let's get you into, so that's why I bought this. She then decided she'd be happier in her own car. I then found that 2 or 3 days after buying this. So it's just, it's got to go.
Yeah.
It was advertised for a while, but again, I think it takes a special kind of person to want to buy a car with this many miles on.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I posted on the B5, isn't it, this? Yeah, I posted on the B5 Facebook group that I'd got it, and someone replied and said that he was actually considering buying it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so that was interesting. But
to be honest, I had, the night the raffle was drawn, somebody messaged me and was really interested in it, and obviously because the raffle had been drawn, you'd won it. Obviously, I said to him, I said, it's gone. I'm ever so sorry. Before that, it was constant streams of messages. Would you, and I don't know whether parts are hard to get hold of for these now, or certain parts are hard to get hold of, but they were saying, would you take engine covers off, or wings, or basically would you start stripping it for bits? I said, well, no, sorry, it goes as a whole car, it doesn't go at all. But I mean, it deserves to live on. It does have issues, as I suppose any car does at this sort of mileage, but I think it deserves to live on for a little while, get some miles under its belt.
Yeah, I'll see. I mean, I've got I'm not sure what I've got planned for it, because the trouble is I've got the Alpina, I've got the Rover 200, I've got my Primera GT as well, which I want to get back on the road really. But I've got a colleague who does Skinflint Rally who sort of mentioned he could be interested. So
yes, yeah.
You know, if that's the case, then I'd sort of let it go cheap. But otherwise, I'll just see what happens really. Nothing's going to happen this side of Christmas either.
No,
really.
of course not. Enjoy it for Christmas.
Yeah, if I can get I've got it insured for a month. So
okay.
So
perfect.
if I've got to sort the tax out before I go back as well. But
that's fine. Mate.
If I can get the fuel gauge going, that'll just make it a little bit easier to live with day to day.
I mean, it is easy enough to say, oh well, just clock it up on there and do all your calculations and stuff. I had it with Smithy and it annoyed me. I wouldn't buy, I mean, it's common on those for the fuel gauge to fail, and I was determined that I was going to buy. It's another reason I got a late one, is the clocks are better in the late ones, so they don't tend to fail as often. So you end up with working fuel gauges, working speedometers, because they're absolutely terrible for it.
Because the 850s have a problem with the mileage counters going, don't they?
Yeah.
So
same as those, they have it as well. But for some reason, the later ones of those don't have as much of an issue as the early ones in the 850s.
Oh, okay.
Apparently so.
I've had a few 850s actually. Always loved them.
Brilliant cars.
The 20 valve, I love the 20 valves because they rev really nicely. But I drove one. We had a 10 valve, 2.5 litre 10 valve. We drove to Morocco on a banger rally about 15 years ago. I bought it for 72 quid. So I'll put a picture up on screen of that one. It was a good car actually, but it used, I think it used about 10 litres of oil on the trip. It just, as soon as you put your foot down, it smoked. But it was a good car.
Yeah,
it was a good car.
Yeah, I mean, Smithy was a really good car. There wasn't any inherent issues with it. Obviously, fuel gauge didn't work. It had rusty wings. What 850 doesn't?
Yeah.
But there was no inherent problems with it. It was a really nice car to drive and be in. I did actually test drive a T5 following that, because I was going to go down that road. Unfortunately, they're quite expensive now to buy, and but they are quick.
Yeah. I had one, and then the clutch master cylinder went, and I had to drive it all the way back from Chesterfield to where I live in Hertfordshire. It was about 140 miles without clutch. Wow. Luckily, I only had to stop a couple of times and use it, start it in first gear. But apart from that, I managed to get all the way, just driving it without, lifting off, getting the revs right, slotting it in gear. So,
wow. I'm gonna have to do a clutch on that as well. That's another thing. Just talking to him down at the garage about that'll be an expensive
Yeah.
one.
So
It's no, I wouldn't have another 2 litre 10 valve though.
No.
They're a bit lethargic.
well, that
to
was
put
sort
it
of one of the
politely.
reasons I put this down as my first choice rather than the other 850, because that was a 2 litre 10 valve.
Yes.
That was, and I saw actually, I don't know if you saw the track day video that I can't remember his name now.
Jeff.
No,
Oh.
the other guy that was with them. It's Lloyd's.
Oh,
Consulting.
Lloyd's Vehicle Consulting. No, I
Um,
haven't gotten around to watching
And
them all
he
yet.
actually mentioned how slow it is. So
I actually spoke to Joseph, isn't it? I think
Joseph,
is
yeah,
it
yes.
Joseph?
Yeah, I saw him at one of the MG shows in Milton Keynes a few weeks ago, or a few months ago now. But
I spoke to him briefly about sourcing one of those, but I managed to find that in the end. Lovely chap again.
Yeah,
Lovely,
yeah.
But yeah, I'll look forward to seeing that track day. Maybe one day we can all get together and do one.
Yeah, definitely. So, right. Well, that's the end for this part of the video. Next bit, I'm going to be driving home, but I'm going to finish my tea and then get on the road. So, cheers, Dan.
No problem at all. Enjoy it. Look after it.
I will. I'll try. I'll let you know when I get home. So I'm in the Audi, got home last night, first look in daylight. I think it could do with probably the seats removing and jet washing. I was hoping to do a walk around today, but weather's been rubbish. I've also got to help out at my son's school disco this afternoon, so I thought I would pick my wife up from work in it because she's not seen it. I don't think she's even seen a photo of it, and being the South African she is, she's already been referring to it as the skadonk, which is basically an old old banger. So well, yeah, let's try and get her reaction to it on camera, and then I'll try and do a walk around bit maybe tomorrow or Saturday, but hoping to get this video out anyway, so let's see what happens. Here she comes. Doesn't look impressed.
Why did you come in this heap of junk?
It's your new car. Did you press the door handle in before it might not close?
My word. I brought you a biscuit.
Oh, that's nice, thank you. I've got a biscuit out of it. See if the door closes. Oh, it's staying closed.
Oh, my head.
Well, there we go. It's the skadonk. Right.
Oh no, how
See-
embarrassing. I can't believe you pictured me in this.
See if we can get home now. It's only a couple of miles, but we'll try. So here she is in all her glory, and well, you can see a little bit of rust, lots of scratching that roof. Can't even see, might not be able to tell, but yeah, there's a lot of marks on there. The parcel shelf doesn't retract anymore, so that just sort of hangs down there, and it's got a tow bar. Not that I'm sure I'd want to tow it with it anymore, but clutch doesn't feel that great. So issues, well, coming home I did have a problem with well, it wasn't really in limp mode because there was no errors on the dash, but basically the car just didn't feel like it had a turbo, and even in fourth gear it was struggling to get 65 up the hills. So after I stopped, after about an hour and a half, I stopped for the toilet, and when I got back in, it was fine. So that was a bit weird. Obviously, you've seen the seats. The seats really are bad. They need a clean. It's got a lot of service history though. There's huge amounts of history here, including the original purchase from Sitner auctions. Someone's ringing my phone. Sorry, I had to take that phone call. Yeah, so other issues. Well, it starts fine. Starts on the button. There's the problem with the hazard lights that come on when you start it. I've got a feeling it might be something to do with a live wire that's not connected to the radio, because the radio doesn't remember its code, and I'm wondering whether there's something going on behind there. So that is one of the other issues. Funny enough, it reared itself today. Won't put the code in now. Oil sensor comes up, sensor there. I think that's to do with the fact that the temperature for the oil doesn't work. Coolant gets up to 90 degrees pretty quick. I've only come down the road, so it's not really gone up. Fuel gauge, so wasn't working when I got it. I put 30 quid worth in, and it went up to about a third of a tank. It was just between quarter and half. It started slowly going down, and when I stopped, it got down to about a quarter. And then when I restarted the car, the fuel gauge isn't working anymore, so it's a bit weird. So I don't know whether that's something to do with the broken wire under the back seat in the sender, which seems to be common on these. Not quite sure why it would work and then not work like that, especially as the previous owner told me that that was what it was doing. It would read when it was full, and then as soon as it got towards empty, it wouldn't read. So revs nicely. Voltmeter, that all seems okay. So yeah, generally there's not that much. There's no rattles or anything. It's comfortable. The steering's fine. One thing I haven't done actually is I haven't actually looked under the bonnet, so let's see. I don't even know where no, it's under there. Let's have a quick look at that bonnet. Oh yeah, the bonnet stay is broken, or the things. So one of the things I'm thinking is, with the lack of power, is if it's to do with the MAF sensor, which is, I can't even point to it, but that thing there, because it seems to have power at about 2,500 revs, and then it just drops off again at about 3,500. And I'm sure when I had my Leon that was similar, but actually looks in reasonably good nick under here. But maybe there's also vacuum, maybe a vacuum pipe's come off or something, or it's split, maybe that's causing it. So, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad under here, but that bonnet is too heavy for me to keep holding. So I'm going to fix a few things on it. But yeah, tell me what you think. I don't really want to keep the car. I've got too many projects going on. I'm going to have a go at fixing the fuel gauge, and I'm going to have a go at fixing the oil temperature gauge to stop that error. The other issue that I was getting, only for part of the journey, was a brake warning. So whether there's a break in one of the wires for the brake pads, I don't really know, but it hasn't done it since. It did it when I first picked it up. It did it on and off the whole time until I stopped, and then when I restarted the car, it was suddenly more powerful and there was no brake warning. So, but it was a yellow warning, not a red warning, so I'm not really sure what that was. I couldn't really see from the screen because of the pixels. So, oh, and I'm going to give it a good clean inside, because although the carpets are pretty good, these seats definitely need a good clean, and I think the only way of doing it really is to take them out and jet wash it, because yeah, they're pretty bad. So anyway, that's it. I think the video is probably over 30 minutes now. So yeah, my £10 car. Yeah, nothing more to say about it really. It's well used, and I'm sure it will do someone a good turn. If you're interested in buying it, get in contact with me. See you later.